Guys, good morning.
Good morning.
Peter and James, welcome. That was so nice. It's almost like the trombone is singing.
Thank you. Well, that's the ultimate compliment to us, you know, because it is said that this instrument is the closest to the human voice.
Yeah.
And actually some of the vocal transcriptions lend itself really well to the instrument. So it's a good source of our repertoire.
Yeah. And the same goes for the piece you just played by Brahms, which was originally written for bass voice and piano, right? And you recorded the two of you on this album, Live Force. And apparently there are only two pieces on this entire album that were originally written for trombone.
Yeah. Exactly, yeah. Yes, I mean, there are lots and lots of trombone pieces in the world, but for some reason there were quite a few that I didn't want to record. And if you can play music like by Brahms, you know, Vrije, Mahler, for example, that didn't write originally for the trombone, if they work well in the instrument, then why not play them, you know?
Yeah.
Just to show the instrument in a new light. And of course, maybe down the road, I'll do a CD of all original trombone music as well. But for a first one, I wanted to do a nice mix of.
Yeah, and it is a nice mix. Why do you think it is that there are not so many? Let's say the trombone has been overlooked in classical music, while, for example, Brahms, they found letters which sort of proves that he had an affinity for trombone, but yet. How come those...
It's hard to say. I mean, someone like Brahms, he wrote magnificently for the trombone within the orchestra, as did Strauss, as did Mahler, all of these great composers. So they obviously admired the instrument. But I just think that maybe it wasn't then in a solo light. You didn't have any players back then that maybe had the facility to be able to play the demanding solo repertoire, of which there wasn't really much at that time anyway. And I suppose it was only first used in an orchestra in the sort of late 17th century. So it's, you know, we had a bit of catching up to do.
Yeah, well, the instrument, it's an old instrument.
It's an old instrument, but it's also developed a lot as well. I mean, trombones 200 years ago would not have looked like this. This has got far more metal and pipes and things that.
More possibilities.
Yeah, exactly. You would just have a sort of just straight pipes, and they've changed the size of the bell and the slides. So it's developed a lot over the last 200 years.
All right. Well, luckily, it has been, you know, it's much more in the limelight now, the trombone. Also, thanks to people like you, young talents who have been playing the trombone since the age of
about 7.
7.
Yeah.
But okay. But also like this one. Like
not this exact one. No, I started on alto trombone,
which is a little bit smaller.
Yeah, it's in a different key and it's used for quite a lot of Baroque music.
Yeah.
But yes, it's a lot smaller. So when you're that big, it helps because my arms weren't long enough.
Yeah. But how did that go? Was it like love at first sound and sight? It's not a popular choice.
Yeah. Well, my family were all brass players actually.
Really?
But none of them played the trombone. So they used to take me to watch the brass bands in the park where I grew up in Ireland.
Is that where it started for you?
Yeah. I just was obsessed with this instrument. I wanted to do it, and I said I want to do that.
Really?
And they said, "Oh, are you sure? Do you want to be a musician?"
Oh.
I said, well, yeah. They said, oh, OK. And they didn't want me to be, you know, but then I said, well, I want to do it.
This is what I want.
Yeah.
You are now co-principal trombone player in the London Symphony Orchestra, which you joined when you were 18.
18, yeah.
You're 22 now. That's crazy. And you have a solo career on the side as well. What is your dream with the trombone?
I love playing in the orchestra. That's a great thing for me. But if I was able to say in 10, 15 years' time that I could have a full career as a trombone soloist, just travelling and playing as a soloist with wonderful people like James and orchestras maybe, then I would love to do that.
Yeah.
I would really love to do that.
I understand. We're going to listen to another piece by Arthur Pryor.
Yes.
He changed the game for trombone repertoire.
He did change the game.
Maybe you can tell me briefly how.
He was an American guy that wrote lots of pieces for his little Sousa band, and he was also an amazing player himself. And he used to, I mean, he was around 100 years ago, so quite a long time ago now, but he wrote lots of little pieces for him to play himself with the Sousa band, and they're all quite virtuosic, quite technically demanding, but also lovely melodies as well. So they're really good fun to play.
Okay, and the name of the piece?
It's called La Petite Suzanne, which I think means a little waltz.
Yeah. We're going to listen to you. Thank you so much for being here, Peter and James.